And we're live.
Podcast for sailoring. 1/2 fuse is 50 cents. No stars, just wild tales. We ain't got no Tim or Dale, just 2 hours of gloom and doom. But for patrons, we'll croon and swoon. We're a gang of unruly guys. We're the Ramblecast. There you go.
What commercial? King of the Road.
There you go. You got it.
What commercial was that part of?
I have no idea. Probably like a Michelin or something.
It must have been a tire commercial. Yeah, King of the Road. Dun 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 dun.
I'll speak for probably a growing number of people. If you're listening out there, no, you are not alone. I have no idea what that song was.
Are you serious?
Really?
That's a classic.
I'm apparently not cultured, just privileged.
Okay. Yeah, it's Roger Miller. Probably in the early '60s. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Country song.
Yeah, King of the Road. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
King of the Road.
When you started snapping your fingers, I thought you were going to go into Queen.
Oh, yeah.
Shonda
in a pretty cabinet. I don't know how I would make those lyrics into a Ramblecast lyric, though. That would be some challenge right there.
Ramblecast.
Well, if you have talent.
Yeah. He loves himself some Spanos. I don't know.
Spanos sucks.
Just like Jack Gladfelder.
Fuck you, Spanos.
Let them eat cake. I'd have to really think about it for a long time.
Yeah, well, I was like, "Oh, damn, he's going for this song?
Wow!"
Like I thought he said it was going to be a short song.
No, I recognized it right away, and I'm thinking commercial. What commercial is it? I go, God. Now it's bugging me. It'll bug me through. I'll be lost the whole episode because I'll be thinking about the commercial. And there's going to be one person out there who goes, Jesus, Jack, it was da-da-da-da-da-da. Idiot.
I mean, sure, Chris could just Google it real quick. He's usually the guy that does that. King of the Road commercial.
King of the Road commercial on it.
I think Kayla sent me a neat little Bohemian Rhapsody clip of like one guy singing Bohemian Rhapsody like in 47 different styles. And the best one to me, though, was when he got to Johnny Cash. Because it's like, put a gun against his head, pulled my... You have to hear that bass behind it the whole time, like boom, 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 boom. Like got a gun, pull the trigger, now he's dead. Like it's just so good. Like now he switches the styles of singing the same song.
Burger King?
It's a Burger King ad.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
Wow. All right.
Apparently Audi has a commercial as well.
Okay.
Wait,
How long ago was that Burger King commercial? That would be the 70s, right?
80s?
80s.
Oh, actually, no. 1997.
1997?
That seems about right.
What are they singing for King of the Road? It's a hamburger.
Wow, Burger King looked so much different in 97. And I see, when I say back in 97, for me, that doesn't sound like ages ago. That sounds like, shoot, I was
22 years ago, right?
I was
17, 18.
I was 17 years old.
Yeah, that's Sergeant Pepper time right there.
He's never heard that album either.
That's a new
It was
version.
an ad for the Big King. It was just $2.99.
$2.99.
It says it's like a Big Mac, except it's frame broiled and has 75% more beef. That's the commercial. Okay, fair enough.
Huh.
King of the...
Hang on, wait a minute. It's nothing like a Big Mac.
What was in it before?
Clever advertising.
75 more beef. What?
Well, when you were mentioning Johnny Cash, there was that time where they wanted to use Ring of Fire for like Preparation H or something like that.
Oh boy,
That would have been funny.
And you know what? That's a correct term. I'll just say that maybe I have maybe I know somebody.
That's better.
Who had that issue, and
That happens to a lot of guys.
And when you're podcasting standing up during loss years, because you can't, they couldn't sit down.
Yeah, it's weird though to hear that Jay had to deal with that at such a young age.
It is. It was kind of embarrassing for him, but
Well,
I mean,
he's not on the show to defend himself, so I can only assume that
I had hemorrhoids.
Yeah. He always was a pain in the ass.
Oh man. Speaking of pains in the ass that aren't unenjoyable, though, I have been enjoying the new Jay and Jack show. So,
well, thank you.
So for those that haven't checked that out yet, so worth a listen.
If only we had that kind of production at on our show.
Oh man, we could totally cut out the crappy moments.
It would be nice. Well, last night we went and recorded at Chip Mims' distributor. You guys have been there for.
Yeah,
I've been there twice. Yeah.
We got to sample some beer. It was nice. I had a good time.
It's a very cool facility.
Yes, it is. And he has a cool story. I won't spoil you, but it has a cool story on how it came about.
Oh,
and how he became in the beer business.
I hope he shot a man in Reno.
Well, yeah, he had hemorrhoids.
Shot a man in Reno, and I sold him beer.
And he was king of the road. Anyway, it was a fun night for all.
Chris, would you like me to sing a song that you actually know next week?
Sure.
I'm just shocked because Chris, we know your music, and I just kind of.
I do. I'm not much of a. I guess I'm not really that much of an old country fan.
Mm.
He likes let me say this. It's not that I'm not a fan. It's just I'm not knowledgeable.
So you don't like No Country for Old Men?
I love that movie.
Or No Old Country.
Well, it's funny because when Russ saw it, he goes, "I don't get the title."
No Country for Jack.
Well, I just said, "Well, Russ," I go, "they say it in the movie." He goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "They say the title in the movie." I go, "It's in the movie." He goes, "I don't understand it." I go, "I'm not gonna explain it to you. Go watch it again." You know, Russ, it was like a bottomless pit.
Sure, I mean, they don't say Star Wars in the show, but I get it.
Yeah. Anyway, I haven't seen that movie since I saw it in the theater. No Country
Star Wars.
No Country for Old Men. No, Star Wars I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in the There Will Be Blood camp. I thought it was a better film than No Country for Old Men. They're both great films, but
because you have a milkshake.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I drink full milkshake.
Drink it.
I've got a milkshake.
I'm with you.
You've got a milkshake, and we got a straw.
I'm with you, dude. Because first of all, Daniel Day-Lewis is hands down one of my favorite actors of all time.
Yeah, he was phenomenal in that.
Like Gangs of New York is one of my favorite movies.
I've only seen it once. Maybe I should watch it again. I wasn't a fan of it.
Yeah, so
really? I found it kind of boring.
Polarizing. People either really like it or they don't. And
me just being a history buff, I wanted more from it. I I like it, but I wanted more from it, and that's that's my only criticism of it is that I wanted more.
You were like, this was episode 1. I want episode 2 now.
Well, there's just a lot of things that are happening during the draft riots and so many things in New York and 1863.
Oh, I'm totally confused. I thought we were talking about There Will Be Blood.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's talking about
the history of oil production. Sure, we could totally get more into that.
No,
we moved on from that, Matt.
Gangs of New York.
I can't keep up.
There's so much happening in New York City in 1863 and 1864 that there's a lot of stuff that you see like glimpses of it, but he glosses over it. And you're like, oh man, you could have explored that. You could have explored. I wanted more.
But it was a long movie anyway.
It was.
How long do you want the movie to be?
Well, that's the thing. Sometimes you do that. Like, who would have thought there would have been a Godfather Part 2? But there was. And it's like, hey, there's more Godfather.
For Craig.
Yeah. We forget that one. Yeah.
We try to forget it.
Yeah. But Sophia Coppola just keeps coming back.
Just keep directing.
Yeah. I loved Lost in Translation, and that movie got mixed reviews when it got released too.
I liked it. She's a great director.
I liked Virgin Suicides.
That's another good one.
Oh, great flick!
Yeah.
See, I would have shot her character at the start of the movie, Godfather 3.
Well, they were going to call the Godfather Part 3. They weren't going to call it that. They were going to call it. Yeah, it was supposed to be called The Death of Michael Corleone. Which would have been interesting because then it wouldn't necessarily be part of a trilogy. It could just be its own thing.
Right.
So.
Hashtag
spoiler. It'd have been spoiler, yeah. If you'd put that in the title, it's like,
Right, but like if you think about the movie, and so spoilers, sorry for Godfather, it's over 30 years old now, Part 3 at least.
You think go ahead.
Is that he doesn't die until the very, very end.
Yeah. Right.
So there's all of these moments.
He dies like all the Godfathers.
Yeah, but there's all these moments where he could have died earlier on in the movie. Yeah. So if that was the title, you'd be waiting for it. Like, oh, is this it? Is this? Oh, no.
When he's screaming on the stairs at the opera house.
Yeah.
You think he's screaming because, oh, my God, she's finally dead? And I don't have to put up with her terrible acting? Or was that just Al Pacino acting? And I'm just wondering. And Sophia, if you're listening, again.
Asking for a friend.
Fantastic director.
I should watch that again. I haven't watched it in probably 20 years.
To be fair, like, is her acting any better or worse than, Natalie Portman in episode 1, The Phantom Menace? I mean, it's just as bad as Wooden.
Well, I'm not sure what that movie.
To be fair, pretty much the only good actor in all the episodes is Ewan McGregor. Liam Neeson did okay.
Oh, yeah. I was like, well, I guess that whole Liam Neeson thing, you just want to throw him under the bus now.
Well, no,
I love Liam Neeson because he clearly did not give a fuck.
He cut out. I think you got censored by Disney. Right? Disney censored you mid-podcast right there.
So...
Yeah, I always remember. I'm sure Matt knows what it is. There is a special out there where it's talking about What's the name of Lucas's Industrial Light and Magic? The history of Industrial Light and Magic, and Robin Williams was talking about doing Jumanji, and he wants to talk to.
I've never seen that movie, by the way.
Really?
Any of them?
But he wants to talk to. We just said his name.
ILS, Industrial Light and Magic.
No, like the actor. Liam Neeson. He wants to talk to Liam Neeson because he's like, oh, you're doing Star Wars right now. It's like, so what's it like? And he's like, Liam was just like, there's sometimes where I forget how to act because I'm just staring at a tennis ball for like 8 hours a day.
I have seen that. I've seen that.
Yeah, and Ron Wynn's like, oh my God, they broke poor Liam.
I can imagine Robin Williams saying that.
Yeah.
That's good.
So it's funny.
Poor Liam. Anyway.
Well, I mean, that's what's funny. Like, I actually do feel sorry for Liam now. I'm sure he's cashing in the money, but like he's almost being typecast now. If you look at his career, he was Schindler. He was so many like great characters, and he's just done the same role for like the last decade now. Just like,
well, now he's not going to get any roles for a while.
Oh, really? Did something happen?
Oh, you didn't hear it?
No.
Oh, he said something. He said something he shouldn't have said.
Yeah,
I see. Okay.
So anyway,
we don't want to get into it. It's,
yeah. I mean, it's
not a topic that we like to just. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing great about the conversation, so we're just going to move on from that one. But
I think that's fair enough.
Exactly.
Speaking of film, since we're on the subject, though, Cliff and I went and saw the Lego Movie 2 on Sunday, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. I've heard other people say they didn't like it as much as the first. I was like, well, what second movie is as good as the first?
Did they have to have a second one because they didn't fit all the historical stuff in the first one?
The history of Legos, there's a lot of backstory that needs to be filled in with the history of Legos. So, no, I liked it. I think anyone that likes plot like I do would like it because it's, if you remember, if anyone out there has seen the first one, I will not spoil, so don't worry.
I haven't seen it, but go ahead.
But, the twist at the end of the first one, sort of twist, is that it's a kid playing with Legos. That's the whole story, is that he's everything you're seeing is he's playing with Legos. I'm never
going to watch it now.
It had to be from the 60s and 70s because kids nowadays don't have they don't have to have an imagination. Legos tells them what to make.
Right. But the story of the first one is his relationship with his father, because it's his father's Lego set, and it's his father dominating, like telling him like you can't play, you can do this, you have to stay within this. And at the very end of the first one, the father finally goes, okay, I'll let you come down here and play, but if I let you play, guess who else gets to play down here? Your sister. And so it's a natural continuation of that, as in, it's now, instead of it being the story being about the son imagining the relationship with the father, it's the son and the daughter, imagining playing and how kids play with toys. Mm-hmm. And so I really thought that was brilliant in the way that you'll see a certain scene and it's clearly the boy's imagination, and then you'll see another scene and it's clearly the girl's imagination, and how they interact with toys. And I was like, it makes total sense.
That's kind of cool.
Did Cliff like it?
Yes, he cried. But Cliff does cry a lot.
He cried at the Lego movie.
He cried at the Lego movie too. Yes, he did.
So it's probably a movie Jay would cry at.
I don't know, but I did look at him. I was like, dude, you're crying at a Lego movie. I mean, geez, what's wrong with you? Like, I don't want to stifle his emotions.
Why did the daughter have to die?
Why did she choke on the Lego?
When the plastic piece stopped moving.
Yeah, that's how it's a tragic ending, but it's heartwarming. My kids do not remember the first Lego movie.
Well,
like they watched it, but they cannot. Been that long?
5 years.
It's 5 years ago. Yeah,
they're like, I don't know what happens in it, but they do remember Lego Batman. They love Lego Batman movie.
Yeah. Oh, there is a nice little in the very beginning of the movie. It's a nice little jab at Batman because they're showing like all the DC characters getting in a plane to go invade the Sistar system, and it's all of them except Batman. And they're like, wait a minute, of the Justice League. And they're like, wait a minute, where's Batman? And he's like, oh, he's off shooting a side film. It's like, clearly it's supposed to be happening right then.
I see. Okay,
Batman,
fair enough.
Everyone's always bashing Batman.
I loved the Lego Batman movie. It was funny. I liked the first Lego movie. It's just, I always kind of like, oh, well, how did my kids perceive these things? You know, and the fact that they're like, we don't remember the first one. And I'm like, huh, really?
Well, you know what? Give me the money back for the movie, the popcorn, everything. I want the $20 back now.
I think we even watched it at home. I don't think we saw it in the theater.
Okay.
So.
I mean, I don't think it's as good as the first one because the same guys didn't make it. They made They made the Spider-Verse instead.
Yes. I've been excited to see that as well.
I did enjoy it. It's close. Like if you said the first one was a 10, this would be like a 7 or an 8. You know, but it's not as good. But you're still entertained.
Okay. I'll wait till they get they'll probably have a third one. I'll watch them. I'll power through them all in one night.
Yeah, I'll be curious what they do with the third one if they make another one because
Sofia Coppola is going to be a Lego.
A Lego, uh-huh.
Yeah. And Al Pacino is going to step on it. And he'll just do that screaming scene again where he goes on for like 20 minutes screaming.
I think that would be a good trailer. I like that as a trailer idea. I'm gonna mark that down.
Someone can steal it if they want. I think it'd be fantastic, but that's okay. That's just me.
I think that they could make it as a Crazy Hank video too.
Maybe I'll do it. I think Sophia would, and I'd get out if I could get them both in the room at the same time. But I just need someone who could CGI a Sophia a Lego.
Oh, sure.
Right? And I just really need the scene where you could make it doesn't have to be him. I could have my own foot walk on it and then just cut to Al Pacino screaming on the stairs.
Yeah.
What do you think?
There might be a scene that's similar to that in Lego Movie 2. Not Godfather or Sophia Coppola,
but someone stepping on a Lego?
Definitely people stepping on Legos. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Gotta have that.
Because I do that. I'm sure you guys have seen it on Facebook. There's that, training for parenting 101. And it's just a guy on a treadmill and his friend like dumping Legos on the treadmill as he's running. It's like, God, that would be so painful.
Legos are painful. I cussed many a times walking through the house.
I think the painful thing for me was my son is like, "Where's the Lego BB-8?" It's like this little tiny BB-8 figure that's like this, like 2 pieces basically, and I'm like, I have no idea.
You checked the vacuum?
Yeah, I mean, it was like we spent, like most kids, you can kind of be like, all right, well, we'll find it tomorrow. Well, you can only do that so many times to a kid until they're like,
it's currently lodged in the ball of my foot.
You see that lump there underneath my skin? That's not a tumor.
That's not a tumor.
That's not a tumor.
You want it? Here's a knife. Cut it out.
Just get Meowsers over here. Get it all nice and pissed off your feet.
I do feel bad for him because he lost his dream catcher. He had this little tiny dream catcher that he bought with his own money.
Well, how do you lose a dream catcher?
Well, it's tiny. It's like keychain size.
But doesn't it hang up though? Don't you have to hang it up?
Well, he does hang it up, but he also likes to take it down so he can carry it around. He likes to imagine that the inside of the dream catcher is where he'll see the dream.
Oh,
yeah, I know. Like it's an iPod or something. But or iPad. I don't know. What an iPhone? Anyway, so anyway, he lost it, and then he had a bad dream, and I was like, oh man. And so then again tonight, I can't find this like dream catcher. So it's like he's worried that he's gonna have a bad dream, and I'm like looking around, can't find it. So
you know what you should do?
Give him NyQuil. I know.
No. get you a mask. Wait till he falls asleep. And then just like scratch your nails against the bed. And then as soon as he like opens his eyes, just, yeah, that's what you do.
Okay.
Great parenting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what?
From Nick's Parenting 101.
Can you film it and then send it to me and I'll put it on Crazy Hank TV?
I might wait for it until he's a little older.
Oh,
that's
you gotta scar him early. Come on.
Scar him early? Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Early and often.
Look at Jay. He turned out all right.
Yeah.
In other news, I don't want to dominate with stories about my son, but I know I'd shared this on a previous Ramblecast. But my son thinks that shower time is the time for. My son thinks that shower time is a time for confessions, or like a time that he can just talk to me one-on-one, dad and son, which is fine. I'm glad that we have this kind of like heart-to-heart time, but why it has to be like when he's taking a shower, I have no idea. So.
Is it the curtain thing? Like
I think it's the curtain thing. Yeah, I mean we're not even Catholic. He's like, the curtain has to be up, and he's like, so
forgive me, Dad.
Do you absolve him and give him like 3 Hail Marys and
Is he afraid? A serious question. Is he afraid to take a shower by himself? Maybe.
Okay, so yes, part of that is he likes someone to be in the room while he's taking a shower.
There you go.
So that's how it always starts. Like, Hey, Dad, can you be in here with me? And I'm like, okay. So I bring my iPhone in there. I'm just kind of scrolling, doing what parents do when they're trying to ignore their children. And and then he says, Hey, Dad, you know how you would tell me like if there was like a curse word that I didn't know about or something? I said, yeah, okay.
Well, listen to the Ramblecast.
He says, well, I want to know what like the A word is. Ass. And he says it, and I said, okay, sure.
You're right there with the shower. Get some of that soap.
I said, sure, okay, it's really just people are referring to butt, it's just another term for butt, I said it gets its origin actually from jackass, which can refer to a donkey, but most people are referring to
that was a good one,
to a butt, and he's like, oh, so most curse words are just like potty talk, like for babies, and I'm like, yeah, pretty much, like
nailed it.
No. So then, is he 7 now?
He is 8. Yeah, he's 8. Turning 9 in April, and so then I think he gets in his mind that he's just going to walk through the alphabet with me. So he's like, so what does the B word mean? And I was like, okay.
God, I was shivering in fear when you got the C word. What's the C word? We don't say the C word.
We never say Chargers.
Yeah.
Ever.
Oh my gosh. I was glad that we skipped over the C word, but we went to the D word. And I'm thinking of one in particular D word, and he says, damn it.
You sweet little angel.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
You were thinking he was going to say dick.
I did. Okay. I thought he was going to say dick, and we skipped over that. So we just went to damn it, and I explained to damn it.
That's the name of a man, Dick.
Dick, yeah, it's the most famous president ever.
Actually, do you have? Does anyone name their kid Dick anymore?
Well, it's Richard.
Richard.
I know, but does anyone go by Dick?
Not that I know of.
No.
They like
that one died off.
They just like to go by hard now. Yeah. I mean, Richard. I mean, hard is in the word. Why wouldn't you just go by hard? My name's Hard. Rich Hard.
I'm Dick Hard.
Dick Hard. Captain Dick Hard.
We actually tiptoed around like some very like easy words to talk about, but we did discuss the F word. We of course discussed the B word, bitch. So for those of you that are confused at home,
and did you break that down as well and say like this is what's known as a female dog that is?
You can also say bastard.
It could be bastard, but I'm pretty sure knowing the boys on his bus.
I was gonna say like
yeah. So,
and you know how I learned about the F word?
Fucking tell me.
Van Halen.
I learned about the F word from Van Halen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is their album for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge?
And that's exactly what I told my son.
And I had to I asked my brother what that meant, and my brother told me about it, and then he got into trouble. So
I will say though,
he got in trouble. Nothing happened to you.
So that's one of two times. Yeah. So he got in trouble for telling me that it stood for fuck. And then one day, I'll never forget. I was in the car with my mom.
Fucking Patriots.
My mom got out of the car. I think she was when she was working at this medical office, and she had to run into the office to get something. And my brother and I were in the car, and I called my brother a whore. and I had no idea what a whore meant, right? So I call him a whore because he was pissing me off, and I was like, "You're just a stupid whore." So my brother's 5 years older than I am, and I'll never forget. My mom comes back into the car, and he's like, "Do you have no idea what he just called me?" And he's like, "He just called me a stupid whore." And my mom starts laughing at him, and then for a hot second, like it quickly recovers, and she looks at me. She's like, "What did you say?" Like trying to compose herself, and she's like, I call him a stupid whore. And she's like, "Do you know what that means?" And I'm like, "No, I don't. I'm sorry." And then he got in trouble again for calling attention to it. But I got out scot-free. He was so pissed. He's like, "What the fuck?" He can call me a whore and not get in trouble. I was like, "Yeah, whatever."
So we know who Mama's pet was, don't we?
Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely. I was the most loved of the two.
I just have to say though, I was very thankful that my son didn't ask me what the P word was.
Which one?
There's two different ones.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of them.
There are?
Aren't there?
Penis.
Oh, okay,
Prick.
yeah. There's
Prick.
penis. I forgot about
Prick.
Prick? Yeah.
Punani.
I was thinking of the
other
one,
variations.
the 5-letter one with a Y. But
anyway, I know when I was
Prairie.
I got my mouth. Speaking of P words, I got my mouth washed out for calling my sister a pig.
Oh,
or a pig.
A pig. You pig! I'm like, and I got soap scraped on the. My mom took the soap and scraped the top of my teeth.
Oh man!
Oh yeah!
Swallow it.
Dial soap.
I go
orange dial soap.
Ours wasn't flavored. Ours was like big chunks of. It was just like, oh god. So I never called her a pig again. Well, not with my
that was some
pig. So because I didn't use the F word till I was like 13 or 14. I was playing baseball. I stole the base, and the guy goes, "You fucking spiked me." I go, "Oh fuck you." I go, "Hey, I said it." I wasn't much of a swearer when I was younger.
Now, a word from our sponsors.
I remember another story about me and my brother and swearing. So I grew up down the street from like a large park. It was like a recreational area, a couple of baseball fields, basketball courts, tennis courts, the whole nine. And I remember I was up at the park. That was the saying. We're up at the park. My brother and I were there, and we were playing basketball with some friends. I was just kind of like riding my bike around while my brother was playing basketball with his friends. They wouldn't let me play because I was, 5 years younger than them. And one of the parents of in the neighborhood was down there with their kids. I remember we saw like a worm that was like on the middle of the basketball court, but the worm was like 8 inches long. It was this huge worm.
Huge.
I'm going different direction than you think, but it got splattered because like somebody ran over with their bike. And I remember sitting there. So I was probably like 10. I'm like, "Oh, it looks like it took a shit." My little 10-year-old version of me be like, "Oh yeah, we're taking shit."
And then your brother got his ass kicked.
No, and then the other parent who's there with younger kids is like, he's like, huh? Look at the guy. I go, I mean, look, it's got like a slit right down the middle. Like I was just trying to cover for myself. And as soon as I got home, I was there, and my brother was like, "You have no idea what he said at the park." And I'm like, "God damn it! Why you gotta bust my chops?" And he ratted me out for saying shit. And that one I did get in trouble for.
Oh, you finally got the hammer.
I said slit. I mean, it sounded like shit. I didn't say shit. I said slit.
That's a pretty slick cover. So
I gotta be honest with you, it was a pretty quick and slick cover. Like I immediately jumped on the slit bandwagon. And I've been on it ever since.
Well, yeah, I was very just to kind of end that conversation part with my son. He actually thanked me.
Oh,
he was just like, because he was very confused by these words that he hears, and so he was just like, "Hey, like, I it helps me that you tell me what these are because I don't know and I'm just confused and I feel like I don't know what people are saying, So I was like, that's fine. I was like, but we just don't say these things in our house, like because negative words promote negative thoughts. And I also said that comedy shows, adult things, they will use those words to emphasize very funny things. But, for kids to use them, they're just mimicking their parents and they don't know what they're saying. Exactly.
So, I was, as a lot of us are, I was stuck in front of the TV or movies most of my childhood. And I don't recall the first time I swore, but I do remember watching Star Trek 4 a lot, and Spock does not know what cussing is.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And so they call them colorful metaphors.
That's right.
And so I remember that, because Kirk, even when they first get there, he steps in front of the taxi cab, and the guy goes, "Watch it, you dumbass!" He's like, "You double dumbass on you!" That stuff like that is how I remember. Like, okay, so that's something bad to say, like "you double dumbass on you,"
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. And then, of course, Spock never says it right. He never cusses right. So then, Kirk's like, maybe you should not use them. I do remember the first time I ever saw a naked lady, though. It's not like with my own eyes, but like in a dirty magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the time, where I grew up in the county, I didn't have that many neighbors, and all the boys that around me were at least 3 years older than me. And we would, had tree houses or something out, and we would all go hang out with each other. And one of them brought in a Penthouse magazine, which I don't know, it was Hustler, because Hustler was never. It was always the raunchy stuff,
Yeah,
and I was probably 11 or 12 years old, and I remember them breaking out the centerfold and this woman not being attractive, at all, and just going like, "Oh my God, that's what it looks like!" Like, holy, And the thing is that my mom happened to come in, I think, the next day in that treehouse, and the magazine was still on the ground. Did you look at this? Like, what friend had this? And I'm like, I don't know.
It's such a typical boy thing to do, dude. Yeah. You're in a fucking treehouse with a Playboy. You can't get any more Hollywood scripted than that, and then have your mom go into your treehouse and find it. That's fantastic.
And that's the next night. That's when she terrorized you.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
she was just like, "I'm gonna get him back."
That's what you looking naked women.
It's funny. I remember I didn't get caught anyway, but there. I remember growing up as a kid, one of my friends. I think I've mentioned this before in the show, and I'll name drop time. Ready? Okay. So one of my best friends growing up, his name is Joel. He's currently now the lead guitarist in a crazy popular heavy metal band, Kill Switch Engage. But I grew up hanging out with him and his dad. I hope to God he never listens to this. Anyway, so his dad had an extensive collection. I'm talking shoe boxes, just jam packed full of magazines. And we would always, when his parents or his mom or dad weren't in the general vicinity of the house, we would go there and just totally rip them out. I remember like looking at. He had Playboys. Playboys was his specialty. He had like every single Playboy issue.
Well, to be fair, the advertisements and the what was the articles were the best.
Articles,
yeah, for sure. But then, so here's the thing: is that like dirty magazines are the gateway drug. So we then would go to the stairs that led up to their swimming pool is where he would sneak off, and to his belief, he didn't realize his family knew that he would smoke cigarettes and put them out under the stairs. So we would take all of his old cigarette butts, and that's when we used to smoke them. And that was like our first foray into smoking cigarettes. And they were cools, and they were disgusting.
They're bad for you.
Oh, terrible! Yeah, I haven't smoked in over a decade. But there, in that very basement of that house, is where I was introduced to, however, one of the best things ever, I should say, and that is salsa Doritos. And I'm still bitter about it.
Bringing it back around.
Actually, where I had them for the first and many times after that.
Well, you know the story, Jay, with his Playboy, right?
No.
You don't know the story? Okay, I'll tell it. We got a call from the vice principal of his high school, and the vice principal has an unusual name, Montesano. And I go, what was his first name? Cindy goes, Randy. I go, I went to school with that guy.
Oh.
Randy in elementary school. So I said, he wants Jay. Jay did something wrong? What did Jay do wrong? So we're like, because Jay was, pretty square and, pretty rule follower. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but just I'm like, what did he do wrong? I'm thinking, what the hell did he do wrong? And so we're trying to figure it out. I guess what he did is a friend of his gave a Playboy, and he forgot it was in his backpack.
Oh.
And they had drug-sniffing dogs come into the school. And they stopped and if I remember the story correctly, they stopped and sniffed at Jay's backpack. So they had to open up. There's a Playboy in it.
Now, how does the dog know there's a Playboy?
Well, the dog is a hound, so he.
Hound dog, gotja.
So, but anyway, I don't know how it was, but it's funny.
It smelled all the hormones left over.
So we're freaking out. What did he do? What did he do? What did he do? And so when we found out, we went, oh, all right. Oh, yeah. So we had to act like we were concerned. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll make sure he doesn't bring a Playboy to school anymore. How's life been for you? Anyways, but. That was Jay, and so after that, when he graduated, we went X-Men, and we went to Vegas. Actually, went to Vegas for a hockey tournament. So I said, Jay, you want to stop at this XXX store and pick up anything? Is it? So he's like, I think we wanted. I don't know if we did put it on his cake, X-Men, or we. I either wanted to or we didn't. It was all X-Men this, X-Men that because. X-rated stuff, so Jay took some crap for it for a while, but he survived. But that was Jay's. That was Jay's Playboy story.
Funny. All right, I'm just thankful I never got caught.
Yeah,
but I know I remember the first time as well because it sears into your brain. You're like, what am I looking at? Am I supposed to be? I'm somewhat repulsed and attracted at the same time. I don't know what to think now because you're so young usually as a boy. So, and I had to have been like 10. My dad at the time, like he had his own bathroom in our house. Like there were two bathrooms. There was the main bathroom and there was my dad's bathroom. And not like it was just my dad, but that's where he did all of the shaving and what have you and stuff. And so it seemed like I opened up a drawer or something like that, looking for something. And I was like, what's that? And I was like, huh. So there was just that moment of like discovery of like, that's interesting. Why would my dad have this magazine in here? So anyway, my parents got a divorce shortly after that. And it was about that time. So I'm sure he was going through a hard time. So.
Oh, you're serious?
No, yeah, I'm serious. Yeah, I was.
Oh, okay, I thought you were joking.
I know it would be a perfect joke, but sometimes life is the cruelest joke of all.
That's true.
Oh,
yeah, so
I thought you were gonna like tie it into like, and then my mom found out that my dad had magazines around that he'd showed them to my young, innocent mind, and then mom was like, "That's it, we're done." I don't know,
no,
dude.
Matt said, "I've been reading these things for years."
Yeah. So I'll never forget the first time you said before, Nick. This is the first time you saw a naked woman. What coincidentally was not the first time I read a Playboy, but I'll never forget when I was much younger. So I was probably in, I would say, like maybe the third grade, around that time frame. I couldn't be able to place a finger on the actual the right age, but we'll say it was around third grade. So how old are you when you're in third grade? You're probably like what, 10? 8, 9,
10,
8. Maybe it's a little bit old. I don't know.
But flunk out a few times.
Third grade is
when went over to my friend's house, and my friend's he found his dad's porno tape collection.
Oh,
and he's like, "You gotta see this. you gotta see what happened in this video." So I'm like, "Okay, sure, right." And so he puts it on. Maybe I was a little bit older. I don't know. And anyways, that was it was the classic like shitty couch and crazy hair and a couple of dudes with mustaches,
and great jazz music.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And I remember he put it on, and
King of the Road.
We're watching it. And I'm like, I'll never forget. I go, what the fuck are they doing to her? I had no idea. Like, I hadn't had like the birds and bees.
Sure. I mean, you'd probably be worried because she's clearly
she's
clearly in pain.
I will never, ever forget that night. I remember going home and having dinner and going to bed or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'll never forget, like, my 8-year-old, 9-year-old self, however old I was, I felt so fucking guilty. That it ruined me. Like,
did you tell your mom your brother watched porn so he could get his ass kicked?
I did not. I almost did. Like, I remember like laying in my bed, my head like in my pillow, and just like I couldn't get like the vision out of my head of what I had seen earlier that afternoon. And I was running through my mind, like, should I tell my parents? I need to get this off my conscience. And I never did. And it screwed me up for a bit. I was scarred the first time, because as an 8-year-old kid, you shouldn't be seeing those things. But I did, and then my outlook on porn is completely different today. But
you appreciate it better more now.
Yeah, I've grown a stronger appreciation for that film industry, and but I'll never. I remember I was like, it messed me up mentally as a kid. I'll never forget that.
There's definitely an age in which kids should not see that stuff.
That was the age.
I mean, it's. I mean, and unfortunately, I mean, kids today, I mean, they have so much access to the internet. I mean, porn is at their fingertips.
Yeah, I remember when I first got the internet, like when it was invented by Al Gore, and and I remember like the guy who installed it, because I was probably 13, 14, so at that age, and the guy going and telling me, I remember him actually writing it down, and I think it was called The Hun. He's like www.thehun.com. And I was like, the hell is that? And he's like, you'll find out. But that was a big deal. Like, there's a place you can find naked women.
It just took a long time to download. You were just like, this part's just like her face.
Yeah.
So to confirm, the Hun is definitely still in operation.
Wow. Really? Wow.
But it's a bread company now, though. So
no, it's not.
Okay.
Well, that's pretty good to be in business that long.
Yeah, this
is the shittiest.
This is like 93. This is like 93, 94. So
hold on. The best way I can describe this without getting too graphic, and as I clear my browser history because I didn't go to a private page, the best way I can describe the Hun.com is that they never changed the actual website.
Seriously?
With the exception of changing to current videos. That is an HTML surprise that you should see, preferably after we're done recording.
Oh, man. I'm just amazed I remembered it because I had to think of it, and it pops back in my brain just from that old memory.
Because you typed it 747 times.
Probably did, yeah. God.
Yep, confirmed. It's still there.
It's still there.
Wow, that is nice. You should have bought stock in it. What were you thinking?
I think I would have a net loss.
Based on the improvements there. I don't.
So it's Hun?
TheHun.com. We just
promoted Well Hun
on our site.
This podcast has taken an interesting turn.
It has. It's just all.
Well, I know you started it.
Me? I was telling an endearing story about like trying to guide my son through the perils of cuss words in life.
I had a friend.
Just coming of age, and now we're all sharing our own stories.
I had a friend that was a little older than me, and his brother was older, obviously, than him, quite a bit, probably about 5 or 6 years older than him. He used to take Polaroids of the girls he slept with, and would show them to us.
Oh,
man. What do you think? I go, well, the naked woman. I think she looks good. I mean, what were we going to say?
Polaroids of them naked.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was just like, hey, people have that today. It's called Facebook.
I know, but he would, probably today he'd be posting it. He'd have a sex tape or something like that. But
Jesus.
I was like, okay, we looked at it, but you couldn't look away. You had to look.
For the record, the Ramblecast After Dark does not condone any of the previous acts of Jack's childhood.
Again, it was something I would condone. I mean, I never did it, but it's just that's what he did. That guy was a little off anyway. He was a little off. Well, we'll just say that.
He was Olaf?
He might have been. I don't know, he was
he had a carrot for a nose?
He was a dick. Let's just put it that way. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in jail somewhere.
I say there's an 85% chance that dude is in jail.
85.
Google his name and find out.
I can only remember the last name. I can't remember.
Or he's the president. One of the
other. I was like, oh, look, he sells insurance.
Yeah. He's got 9 kids.
He's got a car lot.
Anyway, that was my story to the thing. But I did have a story. I wanted to talk about DirecTV real quick. A little rant about DirecTV.
Nothing to do with porn.
No, nothing to do with porn.
Okay, good.
It's fucking bullshit. But it's about 6 months ago. I went to cancel it, and they said, "Well, you can delay it. You can delay the cancellation if you decide to come back, and you don't have to send all the equipment in, all the different stuff." I go, I want to cancel. My wife was like going. Cindy said, "Well, what if we don't want to cancel after 6 months? What if we mess it?" I haven't messed it at all. And so anyway, we basically forgot about it. And they said, okay, I go, what happens if I forget about it? Don't worry. We send you a notification that it's coming back. You have a chance to say yes or no. I want it back. I want to cancel it. So my wife gets a bill. She gets an email today for a bill for $191 from DirecTV. I go,
ooh,
for what? So I called the guy up today and I'm talking to him and I don't think he's listening to me, but I go, we have not. I go, and I told him the whole story. He goes, He goes, well, this is what you're going to do. We're going to send you the paperwork. We're going to send you a box. You just tape it up. You put the return thing back in. And then once you pay your balance, you're squared away. I go, what balance? He goes, the $191. I go, I'm not paying that. And he goes, well, you didn't cancel it in time. I go, no, I told you the whole story. I go, no, I'm not paying it. And he's going round and round. I go, you're charging me for this season's NFL season. It hasn't even happened yet. It's like 8 months away. You charge me in advance for the NFL season. I go, I have no interest in the NFL anymore. I don't want it. I didn't have it before. And I'm going round and round. I go, look, I'm not going to go round and round with
Jack, did you say on that call, fuck you, Dean Spanos?
I said this is fucking bullshit. But I should have said, fuck you, Dean Spanos. I go, this is a fucking scam. I go, I'm not blaming you. You didn't have anything to do with it. I go, but this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
I go, put it in your notes right now. You have my thing open up. He goes, yes. I go, put it in there. I'm not fucking paying it. He goes, well, it'll be turned over to collections. I go, I don't fucking care. I go, I will not pay it. I go, I'm not paying it. I go, I'm not paying $191 for something I didn't use. I go, don't you have access to my records of what I've used? He goes, no, we don't have that. I go, Well, you've looked at it before. I go, I did not use it. I go, it's still sitting in the box. We took everything out. I haven't used any of it. I go, I'm not paying it. He goes, well, so I go, no, you can go around it. I go, I am not paying it. In fact, I'm done with this phone call. I go, send me a bill, send it to collections. I'll just ignore their calls. I don't care. I'll block them. I'm not paying it. He goes, it's going to go on your credit history. I go, I don't care. Yeah. That's how I feel. If I don't owe something, I'm not paying it.
Yeah.
They fucked you over like the porn industry.
They did. They did.
DBDA there. I know, like
I'm not paying it.
They are, and especially DirecTV. I yelled at one a year and a half ago. They do that crap to where you'll get a random phone call, and they're like, is this Jack Glatfelter? Yeah. Like, oh, this is DirecTV. Like, we just want to call and thank you for, being a loyal customer, blah, blah, blah. And we'd like to give you, these 3 channels for free, and you're like, and that's all they say. But they don't tell you that, like, oh, they're only free for 3 months. And then we're going to start billing you for them. And next thing you know, your bill just slowly goes up and up and up. And then to try to call them to cancel it's like going to the moon. Mm-hmm. And I finally, because my bill kept creeping up. And finally I called them, and I finally got hold of somebody, and I was like, cancel this, cancel this, cancel this, cancel this. I was like, I don't want this shit anymore. And they're like, oh, like, why not? I was like, because you fuckers keep calling me and saying I get free shit, and it's not free. And I went off on them. I was like, and they're like, oh, I was like, and don't ever call me again unless it's a damn emergency. And they did. They took me off of all that stuff, and they've never called me since.
Yeah, and I go, you do realize that NFL season's not for like 8 months away. How are you charging me for it already? I guess they charged me for the first month.
They do at the beginning of the year. Yeah.
I go, that's bullshit. I go, I didn't pay for it. You gave it to me for free the last time I had it, and I didn't watch it. I go, my team moved this, and then Cindy's in the back. I go, look, you be quiet too. I go, I can't hear him and you at the same time. I go, my team moved to LA, and I'm done with the NFL. I go, I'm not watching it. I go, I'm not paying for it. He goes, well, you could. He goes, well, thank you. He's telling me the whole spiel at the end. I just hung up on him. Yeah. I said, fuck it. I'm done. Goodbye. Click. I don't want to hear your spiel. Really
kind of shows you like, they're desperate for that money.
Well, that's what, and they're shooting themselves in the foot because there was Sling TV and so many other things like with Netflix and everything else. They are the future to where it's all going to be a la carte, and you would think they would get with the program and be like, hey, like, we need to do this because otherwise you're going to become Sears. And
they're probably going to want the satellite dish back. And I'm going to say, well, go up and get it. I'm not getting it.
Yeah. You installed it. Yeah. You can take it back. I never understand it either. It's like, you get cable. They give you a cable box. You could live in that house for 20 years. You'll still have the same damn cable box. It's like, why don't they give you another one every so many years to keep up to date? It's crazy.
Yeah, mine. It's got to be 5 or 6 years. It's when it first got where you could have the 5 boxes and stuff like that. We still had kids. Every kid was here, and people were coming to visit, so we'd have this. We'd have to have cable in every room. And I go, now we just say, well, screw it. If you're going to come visit us, you better bring your computer, and you can watch TV that way. Or we have an Apple box they can put in there. But no, I just like going, I'm not paying it. And so I don't care if it goes on my – I don't care.
My wife had signed up for the Stars through Prime because there was like one movie she wanted to watch. Mm-hmm. She watched that one movie, and then she even set a reminder on her phone, like cancel Stars like in 3 days because it was like a free kind of promo kind of thing. She canceled it, and they're still charging her. And so she called up Amazon, got a hold of somebody. They took it off, refunded her money, and I think that just goes to show you that Amazon's doing fine. And DirecTV,
well,
they're not.
Amazon Prime, though, I've had to cancel them twice the last 2 months because they keep charging me monthly. For Amazon Prime, I go, I've had to call up. They do pay me. They do give my money back. But I've had to do it the last 2 months. And I go, my wife has Amazon Prime.
Well, I'll need to make sure.
We both don't need it. So I have her check because this month, I canceled it last month. And then this month again, it was on there again. I go, what the fuck?
Well, I'll need to make sure.
I cancel it again.
Wife's account.
So watch it because they get a little tricky.
Yeah. Well, and
at least they take it off.
It even showed that she had canceled it too. That was the thing. So
because I went into this whole phone call with DirecTV going, okay, this is a mistake. I mean, they're going to know I didn't. I mean, I didn't. I said so when this woman said, "Oh, she was just lying." I don't know, sir. I wasn't on the call. I go, so you're saying I'm lying? I'm not saying that.
You said that this was recorded for quality control and assurance. You just don't have that recording anymore. Where you fucked me over. Yeah. I got nothing else. I had a very shitty weekend. So don't really.
Yeah, I didn't do much. I mean, like I said, just went to the show with Cliff, and then we went to. He's been this non-fast food eating healthy kick for some reason, and so when we Cliff, yeah, he's trying to lose weight.
Was he heavy?
But when we go out though, it's like his cheat day. So he always wants to go to Shake Shack because he's never had it until I introduced it to him.
Had Shake Shack for.
He cut out again. Disney's really on you.
No, I'm here.
Yeah, there you
go. Yeah, I had Shake Shack for lunch. It was glorious.
It's awesome. Yeah, I love Shake Shack. It's way better than In-N-Out. I know California people will shoot you for saying that, but
I got your back on that one.
And so when we go, like we always get either the Smoke Shack double or the regular double or whatever, and it's just a good burger. But for some reason, he chose this week. He's like, I want to go Buffalo Wild Wings because he always pays for the movie and I pay for the food. And so sometimes he wins out, sometimes I win out, you know. But we got
so you go Dutch.
Well, no, like he pays for both films. Like he buys my movie tickets and I'll buy all the So basically, yeah. We're like a couple. We're a good couple.
Nothing wrong with it.
It's kind of an odd couple, but yeah,
it is very an odd couple. But we got some beers and some fried pickles and I'm
not a fried pickle fan.
Oh, you were crazy.
I love pickles.
Fried pickles is the greatest thing with beer there is. It's salty as hell and it's great.
Because Zach loves fried pickles.
Yeah,
and it is the only type of pickle that I will eat, and I am not a pickle eater.
Really?
I hate
You're a picky pickle eater?
I am a total picky pickle eater.
Couldn't do it, huh?
You know what? At least I can say shrimp shack.
You can't.
Shrimp shack shooter.
Shrimp shack.
Captain, that's the whole thing. Captain Geach.
And the shrimp shack. That's what throws you off. Throws off. Captain Geach. I can't fuck it. Fuck it. Anyway. Yeah, Cindy and I are going to try starting March 1st to give up red meat for a month.
That'll be tough.
Yeah.
That'll be tough.
It is.
Because I always thought that myself. Like, I should try to eat healthy. Everybody thinks that. And I always thought, like, man, if I married a vegetarian or dated a vegetarian, I think I could do it. You know, like just give me some vegetables every day for dinner and just
give me some guidelines
or something. Yeah, and I could do it. But going to India in 2017, I broke after like 4 days because it was just nothing. Because it's mostly a vegetarian country, and there's no beef whatsoever. So the only thing you could find was chicken. And I remember just like, I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Well, so I like turkey burgers.
And chicken?
Yeah, you eat the chicken, but like it's very you don't see much of it. So, like, even if you saw a McDonald's, you're like, fuck yes, the McDonald's. I need a burger. I need something. And you get there, and it's like.
Fillet of fish?
Yeah, it's you have 1, 2, and 3. It's like you can have a chicken sandwich, chicken nuggets, or the fillet of fish. And you're like, are you fucking kidding me? Ugh. Really?
I haven't had the fillet of fish at McDonald's in ages.
I've never had the fillet of fish. I never had the fillet of fish nor the McRib. I've never had it.
I've had the McRib once. I didn't like it.
The fillet of fish is actually... you wouldn't think it'd be awesome, and I'm not saying it is awesome, but it's not bad.
Okay,
it's like a step above the fish sandwich that you'd get at your school cafeteria.
I see.
Okay, that's high praise.
I've never had.
Well, I remember, the photo of, Trump standing in front of the table with all the McDonald's food. And I remember looking at all the different stacks of, like, here's the Big Mac stack, here's the Quarter Pounder stack. And I remember seeing one that said filet of fish. And I going like, well, there's the one stack that no one's going to eat. Like, it's just like there's a waste of money.
I used to eat those as a kid all the time. Because I used to love, when I get older, we used to go to, my friends and I would go to the Irish pubs and stuff and get fish and chips.
Oh yeah.
And when we went to London, I said, all I want is fish and chips. And somehow we left London without getting fish and chips. And we were flying home from California last summer, and we landed in San Francisco. So we had like 3 hours, 4 hour delay or layover. So they had this restaurant. I go, let's get the fish and chips. And it was excellent. And so now I
love fish and chips.
So now I'm craving it again.
Here's the question though. Fish and chips with or without malt vinegar?
Ooh,
Where you dip it?
So the way I do it is you get your fish and chips platter, and typically it's a big cut of fish, probably about that big.
Yeah.
Right? And you just take your butter knife and you cut down right through the middle, so you kind of break the crust open a little bit. You can spread it almost like a potato. Then you take malt vinegar,
some chives,
and you just douse it and just like let it seep in and under the crust, and you eat away. It's fantastic.
I'm not a big vinegar fan.
Then you would hate it.
I would leave it to Chris though, because he does live in New England, so he would know better.
Boston.
He would know better about English cuisine than we would.
It's New England.
It's New England. Yeah.
But I know when Jay went to London, he didn't like the fish and chips. He hated the food in London. He said it was too bland.
Well, that's what it's known for.
I don't make this up.
And yet, ironically, also known for their British cooking shows.
Yeah.
Well,
every time I don't know why, I'm sure Chris can back me up here. I think of Snatch every time I hear something like that. It's like, every time I get on a plane, I just want to go to a place with sandy fucking beaches. And it's like, we have sandy beaches. Yeah, who the fuck wants to see them?
That's a great movie.
Yeah, that is good. The editing and music. So good.
Apologies to all our English listeners.
Yeah, great. Now we just pissed them all. And I think 3% of our listeners are from the United Kingdom.
Really?
Yeah,
3%.
3%. Because like a big chunk of them obviously is the United States. Canada's pretty good. We have a few percent in Australia and
the English-speaking countries.
Yeah. Well, no, I think I'm trying to think. I don't know. Well,
I'm waiting for that one email, from somebody from like Turkey or somewhere, and it's just all in a different language, and they're all like, "We love the Ramblecast."
Well, we used to get them from people from China, Korea, and all those different places for the Lost One. I'd be like, really?
Remember the Randonopoulos?
Yeah.
I remember they were so prideful because they found some of their podcasts like Google Metrics or whatever that they had listeners in Djibouti.
Yeah.
I miss those guys. Hope they're doing well. Adam.
Yeah, I remember Adam. Yeah.
Zozo. Dave.
Oh, our alarm. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. I thought someone was getting a phone call.
I thought for a split second it was the Knight Rider theme. I
thought Michael Knight was about to bust in the door like fucking Kool-Aid Man.
Michael, your time is up.
That's funny.
So, anybody else got anything else they want to add? We want to wrap this up?
No, let's wrap this one up. And Jack, you want to explain what's happening right now?
What we'll do is there'll be some like bonus footage, or listeners, whatever. Some voice that will be for the patrons. Anybody $5 or more will get bonus episodes of all the different podcasts. Is that how it works?
We like to talk.
Yeah,
I mean
about anything.
We're trying to keep
even when we hang up, even when we end the show, sometimes we will talk for another half an hour to an hour.
Yeah.
Because what we're trying to do on this one is to try and keep it tight. We're trying to keep it like an hour, where it's not a 2 hour, 3 hour podcast. Some people like it, and some people go, "Can you cut it? It's too long." So we're gonna try and keep it about an hour from now on. Right?
That's a little commute podcast, if you will.
Yeah.
Might get you to and from.
And for those of our listeners that really love that extra morsel of goodness, we will still serve it up to you, fresh and hot, just like a fish and chip.
Mm-hmm. Or you can if you subscribe to the show instead of just going by the links that post on Facebook and stuff. Subscribe. You can go back and listen to all of them over again. All of them. The Ramblecast is on there, and all the Rantcasts and all the I think Married Man's on there. I think some Married Man shows are on there. Anyway,
cool.
Yeah, so that's all we got. But if you like to follow us, we're on Twitter, at Rantcast. And it's the same thing for our Instagram account we just started.
You mean
you mean Ramblecast, not Rantcast?
I'm sorry. The RCAD cast. That's how it's. Rantcast is not on there.
You did have a little rant today about DirecTV.
We did.
I don't even know. You know, it's funny as I'm looking right at it too. RCAD, and I still said Rantcast. I'm old. Forgive me. I was scarred as a child. RCAD cast for both the rant. For both the Twitter account,
Captain Geach in the
for both the Twitter account and the Instagram account are RCAD cast. You can send us an email at RCA, the same thing, at gmail.com. I'm all screwed up.
Well, you know what? We should also thank the patrons, Jack. I'm gonna bail you out of this one. We should thank all the patrons that join us each and every week. Your support is very, very much appreciated. We have a few special patrons that we should recognize. They are
Rantcast and Tech for Tokyo, Eckhart Rickner Glatfelter, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne the Plan, and Ed the Letter Carrier. Thanks for what you do, and thanks for all our patrons, what you do, and everything. And we really appreciate it.
Yeah, we really do. And for those who are patrons of the $5 level or more, you will have access to what will ensue after we hit end on this podcast. We'll have an extended version just for you. So if you're interested in hearing some of the bullshit that we go on about after our show, just make sure you hit up your patron page and bump up your subscription to $5, and you'll have access to all that stuff.
And also, even if you pledge $1, we do a live RCAD cast once a month.
It's true.
Where you can join us in the chat and do all that different stuff. And sometimes the best stuff going on is in the chat.
And ask us anything you want.
And we may or may not answer it.
Yes, true.
We were pretty honest tonight, though. I mean, we revealed some deep-seated secrets about our
porn demons.
You can ask Matt. You can ask Matt about all the.
I was just an innocent victim.
The letter words.
All the letter words.
What does the Y? What's the Y word mean?
Yelp.
Y words and porn demons. Episode title.
What's the Z word mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Zip me out of here.
Anyway, that's it. That's all we got for this show. Thanks for joining. Please subscribe. I've been posted the link on our Twitter account, on our Instagram account. If you follow us on Instagram, the link is right up on our bio. You just click on the bio, become a subscriber. So when the new podcast comes up, we're going to start releasing these every Tuesday. No matter when we record, each new episode will be up every Tuesday. You just click on the subscription service, and you're good to go. That's all I got. Hasta luego. Great show, kids. 1 in a million.
See you next Tuesday.
See ya. Bye.